Want to know which states in America have the highest dependency on welfare programs? In today's video, we'll dive into the top 10 states with the highest rates of welfare assistance. You'll discover not just which states make the list, but also the reasons behind their high welfare rates, exploring factors like unemployment, cost of living, and population demographics. We'll also discuss recent legislative changes that could impact these rates going forward. Stick around to explore the significant implications of recent welfare policy changes that could reshape assistance programs nationwide. We'll uncover the broader trends in welfare reform that could impact many, making this a critical watch for understanding future shifts in assistance. Let's get started. In the U.S., welfare programs serve as a safety net for those facing financial difficulties, offering various forms of assistance to help people meet basic needs. One of the primary programs is SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which provides food purchasing aid to low and no-income people. It's one of the most well-known forms of welfare due to its wide reach and impact. The rate at which people receive welfare benefits varies significantly across states, influenced by several factors. Economic conditions play a big role. States with higher unemployment rates often see more residents depending on welfare. Cost of living is another critical factor. States like California and New York, where living costs are high, typically have more beneficiaries. Additionally, the demographics of a state's population, such as age, income levels, and family size, also determine the need for assistance. Together, these elements shape how and why welfare programs are utilized differently around the country. Now let's take a closer look at the top 10 states with the highest rates of welfare assistance, revealing where the safety net stretches farthest across America. Number 10. North Carolina. In North Carolina, over 1.6 million people rely on SNAP benefits, ranking it 10th in the U.S. for welfare dependency. This large number reflects significant economic challenges and high food insecurity rates in the state. To address these issues, North Carolina increased SNAP benefits by 25% in October 2021, following a national reassessment to ensure benefits align with the cost of a nutritionally adequate diet. This was the largest increase since 2006, aimed at helping over 400,000 children and many low-income families combat hunger and improve their well-being. Number 9. Michigan. In Michigan, over 1.3 million residents rely on SNAP benefits, placing it 9th in the U.S. for welfare reliance. The state has faced economic challenges that have led to higher SNAP enrollment, with ongoing efforts to support residents facing food insecurity. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Michigan increased food assistance amounts, and recently, Governor Whitmer announced additional support for SNAP recipients, including a $95 monthly increase in benefits to help with grocery costs. These measures are part of broader efforts to address economic disparities and support low-income families in Michigan. Number 8. Ohio. Ohio ranks 8th in welfare reliance, with recovery efforts significantly impacting welfare dependency. During the pandemic, Ohio increased SNAP benefits through emergency allotments, helping over 1.5 million residents cope with economic uncertainties. As these allotments ended, the state focused on economic recovery initiatives to reduce dependency on welfare. These initiatives included boosting local economies and employment opportunities, thereby helping residents transition away from SNAP benefits by improving overall economic stability. Number 7. Georgia. Georgia's economy and social support programs, particularly SNAP, significantly aid its residents. In 2021, about 1.2 million Georgians faced food insecurity, underscoring the importance of such support systems. SNAP not only helps alleviate food insecurity, but also boosts the state's economy by supporting local businesses and maintaining employment. Besides SNAP, Georgia provides varied programs targeting healthcare, housing, and services for the elderly and disabled, enhancing the welfare of its vulnerable populations. Number 6. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has actively adapted its welfare programs, particularly SNAP, to better support residents amidst changing federal guidelines. In response to the end of SNAP emergency allotments, the state, under Governor Shapiro's administration, has proposed to increasing the minimum SNAP benefit by 50%, representing a significant state investment of $16 million. This move aims to bolster food security for seniors and people with disabilities. Additionally, the administration is working to sustain universal school breakfasts, ensuring children have access to nutritious meals, which is crucial for their learning and well-being. Number 5. Illinois. Nearly 2 million residents rely on SNAP benefits in Illinois, highlighting significant economic disparities across the state. This figure represents more than 1 in 7 Illinoisans, indicating widespread reliance on food assistance. The impact is especially pronounced in countries like Alexander and Pulaski, where up to 34% of the population receives SNAP benefits, contrasting sharply with areas like McHenry County, where the rate is around 6.7%. Despite a slight decrease in SNAP usage recently, the long-term trend since the pandemic began shows a significant increase in recipients, reflecting ongoing economic challenges. Economic disparities are stark, with the greatest needs often found in rural areas and smaller towns. These areas show higher SNAP usage rates compared to larger metropolitan regions like Cook County, despite its substantial contribution to the state's total SNAP participation. The rising cost of living, including food prices, has compounded these challenges, pushing more families to seek help from food pantries and other assistance programs. Number 4. New York. New York's high cost of living has a direct impact on the number of people relying on SNAP benefits. In 2023, around 2.9 million New Yorkers, with a significant concentration in New York City, depend on SNAP to meet their food needs. The city's elevated living expenses make it difficult for low-income families to afford essentials, driving them toward food assistance programs. Recent increases in food costs have further strained household budgets, prompting a 12.5% hike in SNAP benefits to help recipients manage these rising prices. Number 3. Florida. In Florida, the demographics significantly influence the rates of SNAP participation, highlighting the intersection of age, race, and economic status with welfare dependency. As of recent reports, a substantial portion of the state's SNAP beneficiaries include seniors and families with children, reflecting the broader national trends where economic disparities affect these groups disproportionately. The state's diverse population, including a higher percentage of elderly residents and varied ethnic groups, aligns with the varying needs for food assistance across different communities. Additionally, the recent reductions in SNAP benefits have placed extra strain on low-income families, further complicating the food security landscape in the state. Number 2. Texas. Texas's high welfare rate is largely influenced by its massive population size and significant economic disparities. With around 3.4 million people receiving SNAP benefits, Texas has one of the highest numbers of recipients in the U.S. The state's large, diverse population, coupled with high rates of poverty in certain regions, drives the demand for assistance. Additionally, economic factors such as inflation and low wages contribute to the ongoing reliance on welfare programs, highlighting the challenges many Texans face in securing basic necessities like food. Number 1. California. California leads the nation in SNAP participation, with about 5 million residents relying on CalFresh, the state's version of the federal SNAP program. This high number is driven by several factors, including the state's large population, high cost of living, and significant economic disparities. In particular, California's diverse and expansive population, which includes a large number of low-income households, faces substantial challenges in affording basic necessities like food. The recent end of pandemic-related emergency allotments further intensified food insecurity across the state, with many families now struggling to meet their needs as food costs remain high. Going beyond mere statistics, the changes in SNAP legislation and policy carry profound implications for welfare across the United States. The Fiscal Responsibility Act introduces significant adjustments to SNAP's work requirements, targeting able-bodied adults without dependents. These changes mandate states to swiftly implement new time limits and exemptions to align with federal guidelines, aiming to boost workforce participation and potentially reduce long-term welfare dependency by integrating more recipients into the labor market. Moreover, the cessation of pandemic-related emergency SNAP benefits marks a return to pre-COVID benefit levels. This reduction, affecting households accustomed to enhanced assistance, is likely to heighten food insecurity, particularly as food prices remain elevated. Collectively, these legislative adjustments signify a tightening of welfare eligibility and benefit amounts, poised to decrease SNAP participation and impact welfare dependency rates nationally, underscoring a broader trend in welfare policy. As we've seen, the shifting landscape of welfare policies is already starting to affect millions across the country. But what happens when a state's economy and infrastructure are pushed to their limits? In our next video, we'll dive into the shocking predictions for 2024, where some states might be on the brink of collapse. Whether due to economic strain, environmental threats, or social instability, these states could face severe challenges that might make staying there a risk you can't afford to take. Curious which states are at risk? Make sure to tune in. This is one you won't want to miss.